Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alicia and I'm the owner of Alicia Be Creative. Today we are going to be using my WeCreat laser machine to create some beautiful engraved tumblers. So I will be using their original rotary tool that was sent to me with my WeCreat, and I'm going to be using their new Rotary Pro as well to show you guys all of the things that I learned in my process of creating engraved tumblers and some things that may be helpful tips for you who are just starting out with engraving your tumblers. So of course everything will be listed in today's tutorial down in the description box, as well as any links that I have to save you a little bit of extra money. But let's go ahead and jump right into today's tutorial. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the very first thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be flipping my laser to get myself ready to be able to engrave on tumblers. So it's really simple and easy in the WeCreat Vista to flip your laser. You simply just unscrew the two side screws. The laser will then dip down and flip forward, and then you're going to re-screw those sides in nice and tight to allow that laser to have that laser pointed ready for the rotary function. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure you take out your grates. This was something that I forgot to do as I was getting so excited to do this, but we're going to go ahead and after you've taken out the grates on the bottom, you're going to go ahead and open your rotary kit. Now I'm working with the original rotary kit that was sent to me by WeCreat, and we're going to install that first before I show you the new Rotary Pro. So this original rotary kit is actually very simple and easy to use. It comes with the actual rotary function, and then of course it comes with the little silicone like tabs and things that stick into the side that will grip your tumbler by the outside. And so we're going to go ahead and screw those three little silicone pieces on, rubber pieces on to the actual rotary tool function, and that way we can clamp our tumbler in. So these just screw in very simply and easy with the screwdriver that is sent to you by WeCreat. And once we get those three applied, we're ready to get this into our laser bed. So there are two screws on the left hand side of your WeCreat Vista, and you're going to unscrew those because that is where you're going to re-screw down the actual rotary kit function. Once you've unscrewed them, you're going to notice there's 4 holes along the bottom side of your rotary kit, and you're going to place those in the divots that fit, and then you're going to replace those open holes with the original screws. So this is just going to keep your rotary kit secure to your actual WeCreat Vista machine and ensure that we're not going to get a wobbly base. So make sure those screws are tight, but not so tight that you're stripping the screws. Once we've done this, we'll go ahead and plug this into the back. So there's a little plug that works into the back of the machine. You'll plug that in so it connects to your WeCreat. Next thing we're doing here is I am going ahead and showing you the cup we're using today. So this is a stainless steel 16-ounce can that is available on my website. These are gold plated, so when you do engrave on them, you can actually show the gold plating underneath. And so what I'm doing here is I'm measuring the diameter of my cup here, okay? So I want to measure the entire cup around, and that is what we're going to use to input into our WeCreat software. Okay, now to get your cup applied and get it into the rotary function, there is a dial at the top part of the rotary, and you are going to open that and loosen that to open the clamp, and then tighten that, of course, around the mouth of your cup. Now, with these cups, it is a little bit difficult, or I found it to be just slightly difficult to get this to grip on such a small lid here, rim here of this particular can, but after some wiggling and things, I was able to do so. Then you're going to use the little balance beam tool that is also sent, which holds the bottom of your cup, and you're going to use that to help you level out your cup. Take that little level that is sent to you by WeCreat to make sure that your cup is in fact level on your rotary and you are good to go. So now we're going to go ahead and hop into our actual engraving portion. The first thing, of course, I want to do is I want to find a design that I can engrave. So what's great about using a laser machine is you can use any SVG that you can find anywhere to use as an engraving on your cup. So I've, of course, gone to Create Fabrica to find a design that I'm interested in engraving. I decided for this 16-ounce can, I'm going to look for something a little bit simple, nothing that's too complicated. Right now, we're just doing a simple engraving. I want to just be able to work with the function. So I'm going to use this Merry Christmas SVG that I found on WeCreat, or found on Create Fabrica. So I'm going to go ahead and open my WeCreat Make It software. And we are going to change the drop down from the laser flat to laser cylindrical. And then I'm going to refresh my screen so that it shows the bed of my laser. Make sure that your WeCreat machine has the lid open, otherwise you won't be able to get a picture of your laser bed. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to input our file and we're going to size it accordingly. So what I've chosen to do is I've sized this to be 3 inches wide for my image here. And what I'm doing here now is just ensuring that it is placed on the cup where it's going to fit best. So essentially sort of the middle portion of the cup. Now I didn't run into some issues here with getting this placed exactly how I wanted it to be because I needed to do some recalibration with my own WeCreat. So once I've got this placed and I've changed the actual circumference of the cup, I'm going to go into the actual like type of, blank we're using. And so I've changed the color of the tumbler to be pink. I got various options. And so then I set my settings of the engraving. So we're doing a cut engrave and we've set that to be with a power of 50%, a speed of 15, and we're going to keep the line density as what it's originally set to. We're going to go ahead and press start, and it's going to take about 7 minutes to engrave. And so we've gone ahead and closed the lid and pressed start. Now, as you'll notice, what I'm showing you here is after the 7 minutes was done, I realized that I needed to do some very severe recalibration to my WeCreat because it was very much off-centering my image. Obviously, the way I had it placed in my screen was much higher up, and for whatever reason, it defaulted to the lower portion of my cup. So I did go through a recalibration of my laser to just ensure that I was getting, of course, the closest measurements of my cup based on the laser bed and the camera picture that it takes. And so what I've done is I've gone ahead and done my recalibration. I've taken my cup out, I've readjusted it, I've made sure it is again level and flat, and I've gone in and done the exact same process that I did originally, but now we are getting a much better engraving. So we're gonna let that go for, again, about 7 minutes it took for this image or this design to be engraved on the tumbler. And once we're done, after that 7 minutes is over, I am so happy and so pleased with what I am seeing because it looks centered, it looks great. And so I just was pretty much in awe of course, that I'm making this very first laser engraved tumbler. This was sort of very nerve-wracking for me to do because I am someone who, although I love to try new things, sometimes it often does scare me to try something so new like laser engraving. But I have been so pleased so far with how easy I've been able to figure out settings. And though I do feel like there's going to be a little bit of some additional work I'm going to need to do to figure out my settings, I'm really happy with my first initial engraved cups. So this is the final product after we did our initial fixing of our oopsies. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to take this upstairs and we're going to wash this. So what you're going to have on there is sort of like the soot and the debris, of course, from the actual engraving. And so we're going to wash our cup, wash it with soap like you normally would, and then I'm going to take the Awesome spray from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use that to continue to clean off all of like the soot and the debris from over where the SVG is. I like to use like a really light scouring pad or something that's not going to be too abrasive on the actual surface of the cup and cause scratches, but something that's really going to get into those fine lines and sections to be able to clean that up and give that shine and be able to see that gold plating underneath. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the Rotary Pro. So this is a bit different from the original Rotary that comes with the WeCreat. But what I love about this is it has some pretty new and cool functions, which I think are going to be perfect for those of us who want to be able to engrave larger cups. So what comes in the box is you get the actual Rotary Pro attachment. You're going to get the balancing section. You're going to get all of the additional pieces that you need in case you need to extend it, or in case you need to replace the rubber kind of feet of this. You're getting all of those same things that you did with the original Rotary kit, but you're getting this new Rotary Pro function. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to install our new Rotary Pro. So we're going to install it the exact same way we did the original Rotary. It fits just like a puzzle piece directly into the left side of your laser, and you're just going to use, again, those 2 screws to screw down that Rotary kit, that Rotary Pro kit down to your laser and make sure that it is secure. Now, what's really cool about this particular Rotary kit, the Rotary Pro, is that you can use this and secure your cup from the inside of the tumbler. So on the original rotary kit, it secured your cup from the outside, which limited kind of how far up you could use your images and your wraps. But now with this kit, we're able to utilize almost the entire cup because it, again, secures your cup from the inside. It secures your cup to the rotary kit from the inside. So we're going to go ahead and get our cup prepped. So this is a 40 ounce that I had lying around, and we're going to go ahead and remove our, we're going to remove the hanger. We're going to remove the handle, tongue-tied today. We're going to go ahead and remove that handle, just unscrew those screws off of the handle. And then what we're going to do is we are going to bend the prongs that secure the handle. So I'm just going to take a set of needle nose pliers, and I am going to bend up those prongs. And this is just so that we can make sure that these prongs do not bump up against the laser as it is rotating in the bed of the laser, okay? So you want to bend these out of the way. Be careful here. Take your time here. Don't pinch yourself or do anything too crazy. I was being very mindful too because I wasn't sure if this was going to mess with the integrity of these prongs when I go to reattach them, but I was pretty happy and satisfied that I didn't feel like it weakened them by any means, which I know was something that I initially thought might happen. So now we're going to go ahead and attach this to our new Rotary Pro in our laser. So we're going to loosen that dial that's at the top there, just like the original. And then we're going to tighten that when it's inside of the cup to ensure that it is tight to inside the cup and it's secure. Then we'll go ahead and we'll take our little balancing beam at the end to make sure our cup is nice and level, adjusting that in an up and down setting to make sure we get just the right level of each section of the cup. I like to measure kind of multiple sections to make sure it's even throughout and just not on one part of the cup. So now we're going back into Creative Fabrica to find a new design. This time I wanted to try to do a full wrap. I was being I don't know what I want to say here, but I was being a little daring, I guess we'll say. And I really wanted to try a full wrap. I wasn't really sure what I was going to come up against, but I decided to choose kind of a simpler design in a full wrap feature. And so I found this really pretty like hearts, shower of hearts design that I figured we'd try out. So we're going to go back to the WeCreat Make It. Same process that we did before. We're going to change it to laser cylindrical. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the settings. So what's also great about this WeCreat feature is you can turn off that working area. So a lot of people had issues with the WeCreat software and the rotary function because there was a significant section that you could not utilize because of the non-working area. What's great about the new software update with the Rotary Pro kit is that you can get rid of that working area, which allows you to place your images farther up without getting all of those errors and things that many people were getting before. So now we have the complete working area gone. So now we have the full length of the cup to be able to work with, which is a game changer, honestly, when it comes to doing a full wrap on a cup. So now we're going to go ahead and import our image. We're going to take that shower of hearts and we're going to go ahead and import that into our WeCreat Make It software. I'm going to select the whole thing and make sure to weld it all together because we want to make sure this functions as one unit and not in individual pieces. That way we can move the entire sheet up on the cup. So I'm going to move this up to the top of the cup here. And I'm going to go ahead and change my settings here to be 85% power. We're doing 100 or 250 speed, okay? And we're going to continue to keep it at line density of 100 and keep the pass as 1, okay? I will change the settings material-wise, and we're going to change this to white because it's as close to white, I would think. It's very pale, so we're going to go it's closer to white than any of the other colors. And then I'm going to come back here, and I am going to go ahead and resize this and make sure that this is sized correctly. What's also cool is that in the WeCreat Make It software, you can use the 3D model function, which will kind of give you a little bit of an idea of how things are going to look. I didn't feel like it really picked up exactly how this was supposed to look on the cup. But I did make sure to go back and resize my entire shower of hearts to be about the circumference of the cup. So I'd measured the cup and I knew the cup was about 10¼ inches around. So I wanted to make sure that the image itself was going to meet all the way around for the most part. I was okay if there was going to be a slight gap, over where the prongs were, but I wanted to, of course, make sure that this was going to meet all the way around the cup and not just be, one small section on the front of the cup, if you will. So Once I'm satisfied with that, we're going to make sure, of course, that it is on cut engrave. And once I'm satisfied with that, we'll go ahead and send it to start. Now you might get a warning because we are moving this up towards that working area, but you can go ahead and skip that or press confirm. And then we're going to go ahead and close our lid and we're going to press start. Now this entire engraving process on the WeCreat Vista, which is a 10-watt diode laser, this took about 51 minutes. So just a little under an hour to engrave the entire thing. And as you can see, I am staring at it through the glass to ensure that it is starting at an area that I felt comfortable with. You could also use the framing tool on the start screen. So when you press start, you have the option to frame out where the image is going to be placed. And that's a really big deal when it comes to engraving on tumblers, so that you're wasting less blanks, trying to make sure everything is lined up. So I did that, but didn't really pay attention that it wasn't quite as close to the top as I could have made it. I could have moved it farther up on the, the laser image when we were in the WeCreat Make It software, but I'm still pretty satisfied with where this ended up being placed. But again, this took about 51 minutes to complete, and showing you just some, views of how this looks as it's being engraved. And so after the 51 minutes, we're ready to take this out of the laser bed. So loosen that dial again to unsecure your cup. And here we have the final look. Now I did have a bit of a gap that actually should have been where the prongs on the back side were, but I'm okay with that. Again, we're learning some things here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and clean this off. Same process as before, but I figured while we're doing that I would tell you guys a little bit more about the Rotary Pro. So I know that some of you may have already purchased your WeCreat laser, and if you already purchased it with the Rotary kit, don't feel like you need to, completely get rid of your Rotary kit. WeCreat is also going to be putting together the opportunity for those of you who already have the Rotary kit to be able to purchase sort of like adapters or adjustments that will allow it to function just as the Rotary Pro does. And so that's also something that's awesome, but don't feel like you also can't use that original Rotary kit, because it is good for your smaller projects, your smaller cans, your smaller items that you would use to engrave on tumblers on. So some of the things that I definitely learned when it came to putting and using my WeCreat as a laser machine, I used two different settings when it came to these two different style blanks, and I do still think that I need to use a few different settings, test out a few different things. I think I could have gotten a deeper engrave or more prominent engrave on my 40-ounce and even the 16-ounce stainless steel can. So I am going to continue to play around with those settings. I will list though in the description box the settings that I did use. And I also think I need to go back and recalibrate my WeCreat once again, just to make sure it is lining up correctly, because I did run into some issues with my 40-ounce where it didn't quite line up exactly as I wanted. So those are some of the things that I definitely ran into. If you are someone who already has a laser machine and has any tips or tricks for me, definitely leave those in the comments below. If you are super excited, of course, about getting your own WeCreat laser, I will leave all the details for my WeCreat laser as well as the new Rotary Pro kit down in the description box. So I hope that you guys did enjoy today's tutorial. Definitely, if you want to see other things on my channel with regards to my new WeCreat laser, leave those down in the description box. I love creating tutorials for you guys, but that's it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!